We're with Senna. The car ahead, the white one, is Riccardo Patrese, second place.
Yes, and Mansell has wisely slowed it right up now.
Welcome back to Formula One, and what a welcome it is. For the first time since 1985, the Grand Prix circus returns to a nation reborn, here at a completely revised Kyalami for the Yellow Pages South African Grand Prix. We've got Mansell on pole, Senna on the front row, Patrese and Berger eyeing them from behind. The cars are on the grid, the lights are green, it's go for the 1992 season. Nigel Mansell gets away from pole, but it's his teammate Riccardo Patrese who's made a storming start from fourth. He's splitting the McLarens. That Williams traction control showing its worth immediately. And there's Martin Brundle, a fantastic move around the outside of Ivan Capelli and Michael Schumacher. But Schumacher fights back immediately. He retakes the position from Brundle. Scintillating stuff in these opening corners. Capelli has a go at Brundle now. It's all happening in the midfield. It's almost impossible to keep up. And that's Pierluigi Martini in the Dallara. And Senna is off. Senna to the wall. A massive accident for the reigning world champion. He was trying to avoid the spinning Williams of Mansell and has had a huge impact with the barrier. That is a disastrous start to his championship defence. Mansell is still going, but I don't know what damage he has. What a dramatic start.
Well, that was clumsy from Mansell, quite frankly. He had all the pressure in the world on him this weekend, and he's just thrown it away on the very first lap. He lost the rear, completely unassisted. Senna was just a passenger, really. He saw the Williams spinning in front of him, had absolutely nowhere to go, and paid the price. A terrible, terrible start for both of the main championship protagonists.
Welcome back to the action here at Kyalami after that chaotic opening lap and the subsequent safety car period. Riccardo Patrese leads from Gerhard Berger and the sensational young German Michael Schumacher in third. The big news is Ayrton Senna is out of the race. Nigel Mansell, after that dramatic spin from the lead, has rejoined way down the order and has a mountain to climb. The question is, what can he do from there? And that's Michael Schumacher! He's diving down the inside of Gina Lacey's Ferrari. He's through into third place. What a brilliant, decisive move from the young Benetton driver. Alesi fought it, but Schumacher was just too determined. That's a podium position for the German, a fantastic statement of intent. And look at this, Nigel Mansell on an absolute charge has just blasted past Pierluigi Martini's Dallara for 12th place. He is a man on a mission, trying to recover from that disastrous opening lap spin. So as we settle down, Patrese leads from Berger, with Schumacher a fantastic third. Alesi holds fourth, but for how long with that Ferrari? Capelli is fifth. Brundle has recovered to sixth. And look at where Mansell is, already up to P12 after his spin. With the retired Senna all the way down in 26th, the race is long. And anything can still happen, unless of course it doesn't.
Okay, the car feels a bit second hand after that tap on lap one. The clutch is definitely not happy. I can feel a vibration. Just keep an eye on the temperatures for me. Let me know what you see. I'll keep pushing, but this might be a long afternoon. Let's see if we can bring it home.
And there's Carl Wendinger! The highly rated Austrian in the underfunded March has just made a lovely move on Maui, Seo Gugelmin Jordan for 19th place. It's always fantastic to see the smaller teams battling so fiercely. Wendlinger qualified a stunning 7th, a mark of his talent, but a first lap incident dropped him way back. He's showing his quality now with that determined pass.
That move from Schumacher on Alesi a few moments ago was superb, clinical. He saw the opportunity, didn't hesitate, and was past before Jean really knew what was happening. That Benetton, while a conventionally analog car is beautifully balanced and Schumacher is extracting every last ounce from it. In contrast to Alesi and that Ferrari, while the car looks a handful, he's fighting it every step of the way, and you just get the sense it's a matter of when.
A flash of silver and blue. Mika Häkkinen goes past Gianni Morbidelli. And here comes Mansell. He gets Morbidelli as well. 2 places lost for the Minardi driver. And it's Mansell. He's going for it. He's alongside Häkkinen down the straight. This is absolutely fantastic. He's done it. A quite superlative move from the British Lion. I have to say, James, that was just breathtaking. From P12 to P10 in the space of 3 corners. That Williams is in a different class, and Mansell is wringing its neck to make up for his earlier mistake. He knows this is his year, his car, and he has to make it count. What a recovery drive.
The engine, I am losing power. There's a misfire. I can feel it getting worse out of the slow corners. Can you see anything on the data?
And there goes Nigel Mansell again! He stormed past Christian Fittipaldi's Minardi and is up into 9th place! The charge continues! Fittipaldi had no answer to the sheer straight line speed of that Williams. Renault. Mansell is making up places with an ease that must be demoralising for the rest of the field. He's climbing back in the points, paying positions. This is a champion's drive.
Well, Mansell's recovery is certainly entertaining, Murray, but let's not get carried away. He's only in this position because of his own unforced error on lap 1. The Williams is so far superior to everything else out there, he's basically just driving past traffic. He should be leading this race by a country mile. The fact that he's having to pass the likes of Minardi and Lotus is an indictment of his earlier mistakes, not a sign of a heroic charge. He's just undoing his own mess in what is...
Mansell's off. Mansell is off the road again. He's been passed by X, thrown at Morbidelli. Mansell has thrown it away for a second time. Unbelievable. And Johnny Herbert goes through as well. What has happened to Nigel Mansell? He's gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. After that incredible charge back through the field, he's had another incident and thrown away all that hard work. He's dropped right back down the order again. I am very much mistaken. Unless I'm not very much mistaken, that is a disaster for the Williams driver. His championship challenge is starting in the worst possible way. The race has been turned on its head once more. Petrie still leads from Berger and Schumacher. Ginalisi is fourth. And look where Nigel Mansell is now, all the way down in P22 after his second off-track excursion. He has it all to do again. Johnny Herbert is now up into the points in the Lotus. This is a race of extraordinary incidents and accidents, and we are only on lap 12.
I'm not surprised in the slightest. Mansell is trying to overdrive a car that doesn't need to be overdriven. He admitted himself he doesn't trust the active suspension. He feels like it's trying to throw him off the road. It seems his instincts and the car's computer are having a major disagreement out there.
Together like this. I'm doing my best to manage it, but it's a fight. Let me know if you want me to pit, though I don't know what you can do.
Welcome back to Kyalami, where this race continues to provide drama. While Riccardo Patrese continues to lead serenely out front, the midfield has been a hive of activity. We've seen a tremendous battle between the Benettons and Ferraris, and Nigel Mansell is once again trying to climb his way back through the field after a second, quite extraordinary. Incident that dropped him to the back of the pack. The story of this race is far from over. Marina passa Pipai, and Wendlinger comes straight back at him. A great fight between the two Italian teams. And Modena has another go. He makes it stick this time. Great determined driving from the Italian in the Jordan. These two are having a fantastic scrap in the lower midfield, giving it everything they've got for every single position. This is what Formula One is all about. The fighting spirit right the way through the field. You love to see it. You really do.
Engine temperature is critical. I repeat, the engine temperature is critical. I'm having to short shift everywhere just to keep it from boiling over. There's no way I can fight like this. Advise on a new strategy. I need to find some clear air to cool this thing down or the race is over.
The gearbox is becoming a real problem now. It's getting very stiff. I'm having to really force it to get the gears to engage, especially going down the box. I'm worried it's going to fail completely. I'm losing time on every shift. There's not much more I can do from in here, lads. Just be ready for anything.
Brundle has a go at Wendlinger. The two teammates from last year are at it. But Wendlinger holds him off. And here comes Brundle again. He's trying to go a long way around the outside. He's hanging on. He's hanging on. He's done it. A superb piece of driving from Martin Brundle to take the position. That was a move built on pure bravery and trust between the two drivers. Fantastic stuff from the man from King's Lynn. But Wendlinger's not giving up. He's fighting back on the inside. This is an absolutely epic duel between these two. He retakes the place. I can't believe it. What a battle. This is absolutely non-stop action. And Brundle has another go. He sends one down the inside from a long way back. 3 overtakes in the space of a minute between these two. Absolutely magnificent racing from Martin Brundle and Carl Wendlinger. They are putting on a tremendous show for the fans here at Kyalami.
Well, that was certainly entertaining, but you have to question what they're fighting for. They're battling for 17th place and likely burning up their tyres and fuel in the process. It's great spirit, but perhaps not the smartest race strategy from either of them.
And Brundle makes it stick this time. Surely. No, Wendlinger fights back again. I don't believe what I'm seeing. This is one of the most incredible midfield tussles I have ever seen in my life. The Austrian rookie in the underfunded March is driving his heart out against the experienced Benetton of Martin Brundle. This is just sensational stuff. Absolutely sensational. You couldn't write a script like this.
The key thing in that battle is that Wendlinger's March is clearly struggling at overheating. You can see him taking wider lines to try and get cool air into the side pods. Brundle's Benetton, while having its own issues, just has the better overall package and pace. It was inevitable that Martin would get by eventually. It was a spirited defense from the young Austrian, I'll give him that, but ultimately futile. He's probably cooked his engine in the process.
And the rain is starting to fall. The umbrellas are going up in the grandstands, and cars are diving into the pits. Johnny Herbert is in. A gamble for the Lotus team. They're putting him onto wet weather tyres. This could be a masterstroke or a disaster. This is where races are won and lost. The Peary Boaton in the Ledger follows him in. The pit lanes are hub of activity now. And the leader is in. Riccardo Patrese pits from the lead. A huge call from the Williams team. They believe this rain is here to stay. This is a massive moment in the Grand Prix. If they've got this right, it could secure the victory. If they've got it wrong, they've just thrown away a certain win. The pressure on the mechanics is immense. They cannot afford a single mistake now. What a brave, brave decision. And Michael Schumacher pits from third. The Benetton team responds immediately. They see the leader pit, and they know they have to cover him. Ross Brawn on that pit wall, a very clever man. He knows that you can't afford to be on the wrong tyres when your main rival has just switched. A good, clean stop for the young German. No, Gianalisi pits the Ferrari. The Scuderia follows suit. The top contenders are all gambling on the rain intensifying. Only Gerhard Berger is staying out. This could be a huge moment for the Austrian, the McLaren. And Ivan Capelli brings the second Ferrari in. This is a critical phase of the race. The entire complexion of this Grand Prix is changing lap by lap, corner by corner. The teams are rolling the dice, and we will not know for several laps who has made the right call. It is absolutely fascinating to watch the strategy unfolding before our very eyes.
The key man here is Gerhard Berger. He's taken the lead by staying out on slicks. It's a massive gamble from McLaren. They're betting on this being a short shower. If it stops raining, he'll be in a commanding position. If this rain gets heavier, he'll be skating around like he's on ice and will lose a huge amount of time before he can get back to the pits. It's a high-stakes poker game out there right now.
Okay, Gerhard, stay out, stay out. We think this is just a passing shower.
If it gets any worse, I have to pit.
Gerhard Berger dives into the pits. He's had to give up the ghost. The gamble has not paid off for McLaren. The rain is clearly too heavy for the slick tyres, and he had no choice but to come in. That hands the lead back to Riccardo Patrese, and Berger will rejoin down the order. What a shame for the Austrian, but the team made the wrong call.
This is impossible. I have no grip at all on these tyres. The car is undrivable. I'm aquaplaning on the straights.
This race has had everything. Riccardo Patrese still holds a commanding lead, but the changing conditions have shuffled the pack behind him. We've had spins, accidents. This 1992 season opener is proving to be an absolute classic. Martini and Fittipaldi side by side. Fittipaldi fights back. What a duel. And Martini gets the place. A wonderful clean battle between the two midfield runners as they both try to find the grip on a still damp circuit. And that's an accident. It's Gianalisi. Welcome back, viewers. You join us for the closing stages of what has been a truly enthralling South African Grand Prix. Riccardo Patrese in the Williams is cruising to a victory that looks almost certain, barring any last-minute reliability issues. Behind him, Gerhard Berger and Michael Schumacher are set for the remaining podium positions. The story, however, has been the drama up and down the field, and a disastrous day for the two main title rivals, Senna and Mansell, and that's Ayrton Senna, who of course retired on the very first lap, passing Giovanni Marti in the Brabham. Now, you might be thinking, what is going on here? But Senna is so many laps down that he is simply unlapping himself from the back marker. It's a measure of just how dominant that Williams has been today, and how disastrous Senna's opening lap was.
It's a slightly embarrassing situation, isn't it? The reigning world champion having to unlap himself from one of the slowest cars on the grid. It just perfectly illustrates the story of this race.
And Paul Belmondo is off as well. Two cars have gone off in separate incidents. Stefano Modena has spun his Jordan into the gravel, and Paul Belmondo in the March has also found the sand trap. The track is still slippery off the racing line, and it has caught two more drivers out. The list of retirements in this race is getting longer and longer.
That just looked like a lapse in concentration from both of them. Late in the race, it's easy to lose focus for a split second, and on a track like this with very little margin for error, you pay the price immediately. A disappointing end for both Modena and Belmondo, who were just trying to bring their cars home to the finish line. Not a classic piece of driving from either, I'm afraid.
Again, just 2 corners after I started spinning, I was very lucky to recover the car. Okay, everything feels good with the car. The balance is perfect. What was the gap to go? Tell me the gap to nega. 1 pace. This is smooth around the flag.
Riccardo Patrese has driven an absolutely flawless race from the front and is just a handful of miles away from a richly deserved victory to open the 1992 Formula One season. And there are the positions as they stand. Patrese leads from Berger and Schumacher. Capelli is 4th for Ferrari. De Cesaris 5th for Tyrrell. Mika Häkkinen is 6th for Lotus. Wendlinger's off. Carl Wendlinger has crashed out of the race in the march. And that's Jen Alesi, who retired much earlier, passing the stricken march of Carl Wendlinger. What a shame for the young Austrian who has driven so well today in that underfunded car. He was running just outside the points, and it looks like it's all ended in disappointment right at the very end of the race.
A real shame for Wendlinger. He was mighty in qualifying to put that March 7th on the grid, had that first lap tangle, and has been fighting an overheating engine all afternoon. He probably deserved a point for his efforts today. That looked like another mechanical failure. The car just seemed to steer off the track without warning. A disappointing end to a very promising weekend for the young Austrian. He's a talent to watch.
And that's Ivan Capelli pulling into the pits. He's retiring the car from 4th place. Oh, what a cruel blow for Ferrari. Capelli was on for a fantastic 4th place finish. Some much needed points for the Scuderia, and it's all come to nothing right at the end. That famous Ferrari reliability, or lack of it, strikes again. That is absolutely heartbreaking for the Italian driver.
That's the Ferrari F92A for you. A disaster in testing and a disaster in the race. It's fundamentally unreliable. They pinned their hopes on this radical double flat bottom design, but it's proven to be overweight, and as we've just seen, fragile Capelli drove a steady race. He did nothing wrong. He was set for a solid 4th place, and the car just let him down. It's going to be a very, very long and painful season for the team from Maranello if this is anything to go by.
Good over, they take the rear again, just starting to spin. I was at the corners, I started to spin. I was very lucky to recover the car. I'm telling you, strange noise from the rear of the car on the downshift. It's a high pitch. One wasn't no kicking it for the gate, was he closing? I'm not taking a chance at all.
Riccardo Patrese starts his final lap. He has driven a masterful race. He has weathered the storm, literally, and has been the class of the field. He comes through the final sequence of corners. He can see the checkered flag. Riccardo Patrese wins the 1992 South African Grand Prix. A magnificent, flawless performance from the Italian veteran to start the season in the best possible way. That is a hugely popular victory for the Williams number 2. And here comes Jared Berger to take a solid 2nd place for McLaren. And there he is, the rising sun. Michael Schumacher brings the Bennett home in 3rd place. What a fantastic drive from the young German to secure his first podium of the season. He has beaten his teammate Martin Brundle. He has finished ahead of one of the McLarens and has confirmed his status as the clear best of the rest, behind the dominant Williams cars. A Star is Born. What an extraordinary race to begin the 1992 season. A historic return to South Africa has given us a race of high drama. We saw the 2 title favourites, Mansell and Senna, involved in a disastrous first lap incident. We saw Rain's strategic gambles and incredible attrition. But through it all came the calm, experienced head of Riccardo Patrese to take a brilliant and well-deserved victory. The Williams Heberduani B is undoubtedly the class of the field, but today it was the Italian veteran who mastered it. What a start to the year.